By now, you have probably heard that GaryVee is releasing VeeFriends Topps Chrome today. And we're about to talk about that, but we're about to talk about so much more than that. Gary Vaynerchuk, GaryVee, is about to come on this program, and I want to talk to him about the state of the sports card market. He made a lot of early predictions back in 2018, 2019 about the growth of the sports card market. He got a lot of things right. I'm real curious to see where his take is today on where things are at and where things are going. We're going to talk about sports cards. We're going to talk about non-sports cards. We're going to talk about investing, collecting, and flipping. And yes, we're going to talk about VFriends, his new product that came out today, which, by the way, is a lot more nuanced than you would expect. There's a lot deeper meaning behind this product, and we're going to have a little bit of philosophical conversation about it, about fathers and daughters, and what this can bring to the hobby. So give this a true chance and a true listen. You're going to learn some things about Gary, and you're going to learn some things about VeeFriends. Let's get that interview started now. The Jeff Wilson Show is brought to you by Arena Club, the official home of slab packs. Now available every day, slab packs offer an exciting way to collect graded cards with confidence. Plus, every pack comes with an instant offer to buy your slab. Don't miss out. Explore the latest slab packs and more by downloading the Arena Club app. Just search Arena Club in your app store and use promo code SCI20 for 20% off your first purchase. Gary, happy release day, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Geoff. Yeah, it's a pretty special day. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be a huge day for you, right? I mean, I know VFriends has been a IP that you've been working on forever, and now today is the day that it actually has come to life in official Topps Chrome trading cards. It's got to be an exciting moment for you.
When I think about like 84 Topps packs that I bought at the local Krausers, which is like a 7-Eleven in New Jersey, to this moment, and all the years of how I viewed Topps, what Topps meant to me, what baseball cards meant to me, it's truly one of the great days of my life, and I'm very, very grateful to be here.
I can imagine. I'm super excited. I want to hear more about this set, and I want to dive in a little bit. But first, I want to kind of step back and just talk about the trading card market in general.
Yeah.
I was just at the Topps Industry Conference last week. I know you were there as well. There's a lot of excitement. You know, there's a lot of new things coming, both sports and non-sports. Obviously, you're part of that non-sports movement. Are you surprised where the market is? We had obviously the big spike during COVID, and then things kind of slid back, at least in terms of prices in 2022, 2023. It feels like we're just roaring again, kind of like how things were before.
Yeah, I would argue it's different than the way it was roaring during COVID or even pre-COVID. Obviously, I was doing a lot of content and talking a lot about cards in 18 and 19 before COVID. Even that little burst and then the bigger burst during COVID, why I don't think we're back is I actually think we're in a much more stable, much better position than we were during COVID. I think that the hobby, as people like to call it, both on the collectors and the flippers side, is much more thoughtful. I would argue, as somebody who pays close attention to it, that I love that flipping and hobbyist collectors are in a more healthy spot. I feel like we're not having a north-south war about it. Like, I think people are becoming more empathetic to, some people like to collect, some people like to flip, some people flip to be able to afford to collect, and all the other things people do in this hobby. I feel that because there was the micro bubble burst of the bubble COVID pricing so close to where we are now, Jeff, that a lot of the kids and grown-ups that are in it aren't replicating the same behavior right now than they did during COVID. So they're not speculating on like fourth round quarterbacks and buying one of ones of those players for $53,000. And you'll have that. Look, there's a gambling element in Wall Street. There's a gambling element in being an entrepreneur. Like, there's going to be gambling elements of people taking a risk. And oh, by the way, Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. So you've got to think of it from every angle. I would compare this moment we are in trading cards, Jeff, to 1986.
Interesting. Okay.
I think if you look at the history of trading cards, I think this is more 86. And what I mean by that is from 79 to 86, there was just a really good, steady buildup. And the base in 86 was healthy. Like there was people buying and selling and starting to realize value, but people were really collecting and people were flipping. And it was a steady growth. And it was the pre-dawn of a bubble, the junk wax era, right? Junk wax era is not replicatable because the card companies have learned, the collectors have learned. Now, other things happen. The COVID bubble happened. Other things will happen. But this is the most educated flippers and collectors have been, in my opinion, because of the explosion of modern media. We have this incredible podcast. We have a trillion breakers. We have content creators. We have podcasters. There is a daily dose of information that, I mean, if I saw a newspaper article about baseball cards in 1988, I lost my mind. Like it was like, oh my God, they're talking about baseball cards. Now everybody, kid to grown up, has YouTube, podcasting, social media to get educated, to get excited, which means there's a constant flow of media, which means there'll be a constant hobby. It won't just disappear like it did during the junk wax era and the baseball strike in '94. I'm actually incredibly bullish, and then you heard me talk in Atlanta at the convention. I think there's a massive explosion, similar to, I feel I was right in 18 that cards were about to explode, and to remind everybody they exploded before COVID. I think I'm going to be right about this non-sports thing. I think we're about to get the Comic Con crew, which I think is great for the hobby. And oh, by the way, because I know the kind of people that listen to this and they don't want to hear just VeeFriends and non-sports propaganda, like it's so, like I'm so deep into the sports card collecting as well. I'm just at the point in my career where I'm looking for very nuanced things. Like, for example, on the sports front, I'm getting really into alternative rookie cards of vintage. So Burke Ross, Mickey Mantle's rookie card versus the Bowman or the Topps, or the Jamestown Cookie Hank Aaron rookie card, so I like the supply and demand elements, looking for different things. And look, I'm also, a big Jets fan. And so like I bought some Justin Fields, but unlike Zach Wilson and Darnold, and obviously those were drafted players, so the dynamics are different, but like there was very expensive one-of-ones Fields that I could have bought. I went a little more kaboom, so I think even for us that are speculating or letting our emotions get the best of us with our card collecting, like I am with that Justin Fields play, even that, I think we're being more clever and thoughtful because we've learned a lot, all of us, everyone listening. There's no one listening to this show that isn't into this game. Nobody stumbled on this on Spotify. And I think all of us have learned a lot in the last 7 years, and I actually think that sets up the next 7 years very healthy.
By the way, all those Sam Darnold National Treasures RPAs you bought back in like 2018, 2019, hey, they actually did pretty well this last season. You just had to have a little bit of a long hold time on those.
Some of these QBs work out, most don't. But yes, that one did.
Yeah, that one definitely did. Well, let's talk a little bit more about non-sports. Obviously, we're going to get into VeeFriends, but you talked about you feel like non-sports in general could have its moment to shine here in the years ahead. There was quite a bit of time spent on non-sports at the Topps conference. Topps has the Disney IP now. Topps has the Marvel IP under license. They've had Star Wars for some time. They talked about other sets like SpongeBob that they were coming out with this year.
That's going to be a monster. People do not realize how passionate people are about SpongeBob.
Do you see, we see here at Cards HQ, we have a huge TCG business, tons of Pokemon, et cetera. And then we have a huge sports card business. Do you see the non-sports appealing more to kind of the TCG crowd or the new collector getting in? Or do you think some of the sports crowd is going to start to delve over that direction?
So the non-sports, non-TCG, which VeeFriends is a part of this time. My last card release, with the NFTs, was actually a TCG, like the Series 2 VFriends, if you've done homework or if you've ever looked on eBay, or we've seen each other at the National. Most of the stuff I've had the last couple of years has actually been a TCG card. Now we're going with the non-sports, non-TCG card. I believe that my guess is that crowd will be 60% not with us right this second. These are going to be all net new. And there'll be, of the 40% left, there'll be a mix of 70% of those will be Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, Pokemon, and then a small percentage of the sports crowd will come over because, listen, Geoff, somebody right now is 36 years old, heavily collecting, speculating rookie basketball cards, but nerded out like crazy on SpongeBob as a kid. Now that it's Topps Chrome, not Zero Cool. Like, what's going on with VFriends? VFriends is, like, if anybody goes on eBay, VFriends has been selling very well on eBay for 3 years. But because it was Zero Cool, nobody listening right now really gave a crap. And the few percentage of people listening right now that are starting to get into considering, like, what's Gary up to? Topps Chrome has a lot to do with that. Not me just still building my bricks over here at VFriends. Topps Chrome's going to do SpongeBob. This 36-year-old that I'm telling you about is going to consider a box because they grew up on it, and they're going to be smart enough to know their sketch cards and autos, and their flipping DNA will come into it. And then you know what happens. They buy that first box, they like it, they do pull a 101 refract, and then you wake up and you've got 28 boxes of SpongeBob, and you've never bought non-sports before in your life. I think that is going to be common. And I think cards in general are continuing to build momentum, like I was just saying, and somebody's going to stumble on Instagram to a Disney break who's a Disney collector of pins or figurines who doesn't buy cards, who's going to say, ooh, those are cute. And I met with a VeeFriends collector. She's the girlfriend of a guy. She actually knew a little bit about Gary Vee, the content creator, but boyfriend's into VeeFriends. Whatnot and Fanatics Live in the background. She gets sucked in. She looks on the screen and sees the badass bulldog, and she's like, oh, that's cute. I want to collect the bulldog. Week later, she's buying on Whatnot ARC packs to get the bulldog. Next day, this is her telling me the story the other day. Next day, she goes on Whatnot. She's like, what's this Lorcana Disney thing? Mm-hmm. Now she's 90% Lorcana, 10% VFriends. She did not collect cards in her life. This will continue to happen with what you're doing, what I'm doing, and many other people are doing, which is we are now in the media business, and it's building awareness. This was always a great hobby. It was, it is, and it will be. Trading cards are forever. I really mean that. People still collect coins and stamps and antiques. Trading cards are forever. And I think we're going to see an influx. And I believe that one of the great things the collective hobby can do is embrace non-sports. And by the way, we know each other a little bit, but you may not realize this. Sports is probably my only hobby. I love sports. Like, I like the Jets more than I like anything. And the Knicks, I have a huge, love affair with the New York Knicks. But I have 10% of me a nerd culture. Little Star Wars, little this. And I see it, boy, do I see it. And so I'm excited. And there'll be the cliche things and I get it. Like, most of my buddies don't want to collect non-sports. They're sports dudes. I get it. But I think it's going to be healthy for the overall hobby. And I think, from a business standpoint, there was a lot of people that did very well with those UK exclusive Disney boxes. As a business standpoint, a lot of people that bought these VFriends boxes on pre-sale for $99 are really happy right now, And so there's some business elements that are going to work out for people. And so here's what I would say to everybody who's no to non-sports on the call right now. Change that no into maybe for a couple of months just to learn. Even if you don't find value, like it, or don't see it as a business opportunity, what you will learn will make you a better sports card investor or collector. And I think that's why I stay curious, Geoff, because all the different things I do give me a rounded out view and context to allow me to navigate good business decisions and good enjoyment hobby decisions. And I think that's a good idea.
It's going to be a fun many years ahead. I'm excited to see all of it. One of the things I love about the non-sports as well, you're talking about Disney cards. We see more entire families come into Cards HQ now than I ever would have thought in the past. And sometimes you'll see, the daughter veer over towards the Disney cards, for example, and then the dad and the son are over in the sports card aisles. And there you go. There's the look.
To that point. So you just kind of set me up. So I'm just going to run through the wall.
Let's do it.
One of the main reasons that I'm excited about VFriends, Topps Chrome, is that I know that finding common interest with your children is one of the most important things a human can do, period. You add father to daughter, cliches are cliches for a reason. There are many fathers, me included, right this minute, who spend real time thinking and caring deeply about finding common interests with their daughter because they want to have forever, lifelong, loving, incredible relationships with their daughter. I want every dude, and there are many that are listening right now, to think about who their friends are, especially if they're over 30 years old. And Geoff, how old are you, brother?
46.
Amazing. I'm 49. This is going to really resonate with you. You find out that what you're interested in becomes why you still have the friends you have right now from grammar school, middle school, high school, and college. When I look at my friends right now, they have to be a Jets or Knicks fan or into trading cards, or I'm not as friendly with them. And when I look at my friend groups and my 6 different text groups of different friend groups, my one core high school friend group, I'm least friends with because they're not into any of the same like my friend T. Adam, he's one of my best friends in high school. We still stay very nicely in touch. If he was a Jets fan instead of a Giants fan, he'd be one of the best friends in my life. I would see him all the time. I rarely see him. Common interests matter. I designed VeeFriends packaging so that girls who are being dragged into card stores, there's plenty of girls that collect, but there are plenty of daughters. I'm in card stores all the time, who I see these poor 12, 13-year-old girls being dragged in by dad and brother, that I know visually what I'm showing you right now, because I know some people might listen on audio. Like, I thought a lot about packaging to be enticing the same way I fell in love with Garbage Pail Kids. When I went to Krauser's to go buy 86 Topps packs, I walked in one day, Geoff, and on the counter was something called Garbage Pail Kids. I'd never seen that before. And I was in 5th grade, and I was like, those are cool. And I bought a pack. And for the next 9 months, it was the obsession of my life. Mm. I designed this package and this product. One of the biggest reasons I think people should collect this product that are listening is I think it's going to be the product that you and your daughter collect. And that could have a lasting impact. And there's a lot of positivity and practicality embedded in the VeeFriends IP. And I want your daughters to fall in love with Ambitious Angel and Fearless Fairy, because I like ambition and fearlessness, and I especially like it when young girls have it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great mission, and I think that's needed in the hobby, and I think that's wonderful. So that right there, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was one of your objectives with this set. But as a dad of an 8-year-old daughter, I can tell you that right there really appeals to me.
Brother, I will tell you that when people see me go through this journey, and I've been a public figure since this launched, so that comes with baggage and comes with judgment. But I'm very proud of what I'm trying to do here, which is on the facade, I want to build a Pokemon-like brand, and I'm really into it. Like, I want these characters ironically compete, which I love. These characters are based in competing and collectability. That's why there's trading cards. That's why there's comic books. Like, I'm really excited about it. But under the Pokemon facade is actually Jim Henson and Sesame Street. If someone was compelled in this interview like you are to now actually give VeeFriends an hour of their time, which is valuable time, and do they get under the hood, they will be blown away by the mission. For example, Geoff, the reason the package is purple is I think politics and parenting has gone too red and too blue. I think the middle is where the magic is. VeeFriends is going to teach kindness, kind Kadu, compassion, compassionate catfish, warmth. It's going to warm Wolverine, but it's also going to teach accountability. No 8th place trophies. So there's competitive clown and accountable ant, and there's tenacious turkey. Tenacity matters. I don't want to take tenacity out of my boys, out of my girls for that matter. So I think people are going to be blown away as they start to unpeel this onion that I've been building for the last 4 years. This is not a quick, rich scheme for GaryVee. I've made a lot of money in my investing career and other things I've done. this is a business for me. I want to build one of the most successful let me say it very clearly. I want to build one of the most financially successful intellectual properties of all time. However, what's cool about intellectual properties like Disney, like Marvel, like Barney, like Dora the Explorer, like when you play in this game, you're allowed to have a positive impact too. That feels epic. And there's some businesses that are like for money and leave good deposits into the world. I have an extreme mission to accomplish both in this, and we will. And that's what I'm going to do over the next 50 years.
So this is obviously your inaugural Topps Chrome set that came out today. Is this something you see repeating? Is this an annual set?
Oh yeah, we've signed a very long-term deal. So this is, and notice how we named it, Topps Chrome 2025. So good news for all the card store owners. I'm sure there's many. I DM'd with almost all of you. I'm the most frustrated that Topps didn't believe how much demand was sitting here. So I know this one got away from us a little bit, got way more expensive quickly than I wanted it to. But I anticipate a lot more 2026 being made. Not enough. Listen, I was most affected by the junk wax era, so we'll be thoughtful to not overproduce. This is a marathon, not a sprint. But yes, this will be a yearly product. And I think the people that look under the hood of the product will see that someone that understands trading cards made this. For example, Geoff, in this blaster, we have a 1-of-1 that's exclusive to the blasters.
I love that. Most of the time, one of the things I don't like about retail product like blasters is you rarely get the opportunity even to pull anything good. Rarely are there chase cards in the blasters that are anything like what you can get in hobby. So it sounds like you've been thoughtful about that.
Every character, there's 100 characters in the set, has a 1-of-1 blast off. That's a monster. But even little things. The yellow refractor is the core exclusive refractor in this. The decisive duck is prominent for a reason. One of the most collectible characters in VeeFriends world. The 5,000 to 10,000 psychotic, hardcore VeeFriends collectors are going to chase the yellow on yellow color match, yellow refractor decisive duck. That's why I wanted that in the blaster, not in the hobby. So it was very important to me that the lower end cost didn't mean no ROI. What was very important to me was that this was going to be the best ROI box of the year. And at the $99 price it is, there's autos in this product that are real autos. Michael Rubin, Kevin Hart, Dana White, like real demand. There are inserts that are insane. The inserts are insane in hobby. Geoff, I found the artist who drew the original Kaboom art.
That's cool. I own that complete set, by the way. Second year, I own the 2013 or 2014 rather Kaboom complete set. Absolutely love it.
The 2013 set is my favorite set. I have it. In fact, I have some of the original art, the actual sketches. That's how I got to him. I found him for that. And then I went to him. We have an insert in here called Erupt, because we have something called Burn Island in our NFT world. So it's called Erupt. It is absolutely an homage to that very impossible to get. But this isn't a case hit. This is an every 13 cases hit. And so that will be like a crazy chase. Then we have a manga variant of every single character. That is a 2.3 in a box set. We have 1975 Topps throwback insert.
Okay.
1975 Topps baseball is my favorite set of all time. It's also the 50th anniversary. It is the most. I was born in 75, so it's the most important set for me as a child. So that's an homage to that. As you may know, Pokemon did a year 2000 Topps Chrome set. It was the only time they did Topps Chrome. So there was a Y2K insert in that set. We have a Y2K insert variant in here that's a rare card that's very hard to get. That is going to be a lot of fun. So this is a very stacked box. And then the other thing that no one knows is that there's so many maxis, more Comic-Con than trading card collectors of the characters in here. The gosh darn base cards. For some of the people here that are flippers, when they buy their first box, even at the new prices, not even the pre-sale price, the base cards are going to have enormous demand because we have so many. This is what no one knows, Geoff, in the hobby. We have so many real collectors, and it takes real collectors, like scaled real collectors. And people don't realize this is 4 years in the making this IP. And people don't realize it's 15 years of Gary Vee brand building that led to VFriends 4 years ago. So I think people that have been at the National, you know this, they get a sense that there's some real passion around this brand. But now that this is nationally being released and nationally available, and then obviously Topps Chrome has its incredible impact on it, and so I'm excited about it.
I'm super excited about it. Thankfully, we got a good allocation of it here at Cards HQ. We're going to have it on our shelves. We're going to be breaking it on our Cards HQ Allie channel. Allie, who does a lot of our non-sports, is going to be breaking it.
Jeff,
I don't know how long it will last, though. It might go real quick. Today's release day. It may be gone by tonight. Who knows?
Are you doing it today?
We are. It is out. It is out today.
I'm going to jump into the stream today. What are you doing it on? Which platform?
Cards. It's going to be on Cards HQ Alley. I'll send you on Whatnot. We're going to be on Whatnot with it.
Whatnot.
Maybe we'll even do a little on Fanatics Live. We may throw a couple boxes on Fanatics Live too.
I can zoom in on Whatnot and will with Alley. So I'll hit you up right after this.
Perfect. That's great. We will make that happen. That's awesome. This is great, Gary. I'm super excited for this. One final question. We'll get you out of here. Curious about digital, right? So I know you've got, obviously, NFTs have been a big part of your life the last few years. You've got VeeFriends exist in the NFT world as well as the physical world. How do you see the digital card world and the physical card world? Are they converging more at some point, or do you think it's a separate collector base? There has been quite a bit of growth recently in some of like Panini's digital products.
I'm watching it too, brother, as you can imagine, very closely, given my disproportionate belief long term in NFTs. NFTs as a brand right now is bad because everybody thought every NFT was going to be worth money. That would be like telling everybody every trading card out of every pack is going to be worth a fortune. It was always, and this is why I made videos back then, Jeff.
You did. I watched them. You absolutely did.
I was like 99% are going to zero.
Yes, you said that.
Zero. And I said it over and over because I needed to protect myself. A, I believed it. B, I knew I had to make a lot of them because I could see the greed behavior coming in that I saw in the junk wax era, that I saw the internet stocks of 2000. But NFTs are here, man. They're going to be here forever. The blockchain's incredibly important. I think it's super fascinating. I've been paying very close attention to what's been going on with Panini. I think I saw Wemby Kaboom Panini NFT go for more than the gold base card.
It went for over 50K recently.
I believe you and I, when we're in our early 60s, chopping it up over dinner at a national, talking about this, the end result of this question is and. There'll be people that collect the NFTs. There'll be people that collect the cards. And there'll be people that collect both. No question. And you know how collecting works. There are going to be many people in 15 years that are going to think it's super cool that they own both the physical and the digital version of a super premium card. And so I think it's really exciting. I think, like anything, you need to be patient, you need to be thoughtful, you need to understand where you're speculating versus where you're collecting versus where you're doing business. But I'm spending a lot of time on it. And this is, to be frank, Jeff, this is, if I may, it's why I have so much confidence in the VeeFriends IP. Like, I am a seasoned businessman at this point. I've got 30 years of consistent track record of building businesses. I'm going to build a monster with VeeFriends, and it is because I understand the digital and the physical. I am going to work my tail off to make these Chrome hobby boxes that people are going to pick up today and these next couple of weeks, especially for the ones that are going to hold it long term. I'm going to work like heck to make it one of those boxes that we see, at the shows in 20 years in the glass cases. And look, this is important for everyone here. I am the engine, so God forbid I could get sick, I could tragically pass. I'm like talking real life now with everyone. That would be a problem, and that would make these things probably not worth much. But if, God willing, I'm able to hang around here and operate this thing for the next 30, 40, 50 years, this is going to be a goddamn monster. And it's crazy. I can't wait to look back at this exact clip, because we're documenting it all, and that's kind of neat. And so I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate what you do for the hobby, especially for the kids. And I wish you well.
Well, that conversation we're going to have 30 years from now about all of this, let's have it in the owner's suite at the Jets Stadium. I want the invite there when you finally get that ownership of the Jets.
Thank you for that. That is a real lifelong dream of mine. I'm working on it, and I feel like VeeFriends could be a contributor to it.
Awesome. Well, happy release day, Gary. Thanks so much for joining the show, and good luck with all of this.
Thank you, sir. Take care, everyone.
Take care.